Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to NIASM. Hope you are great. So, the head of the government actually made a post yesterday talking about Project 2025. If you know me very well, you can remember that I was on Project 2025 for how many years? For almost 1 year, talking about it till before election. Why? Because I knew Black people can never lie when it comes to politics. They saw well. And they stood boots on ground talking about Project 2025. And tell me how somebody was able to convince some people that he got nothing to do with Project 2025 when his name appeared 300 and something times in the book. So yesterday he had a meeting with them. I don't know what that meeting is all about, but this is to tell you that he was the one also behind Project 2025. And the truth is that everything that is in Project 2025 has actually happened. Like all of them has happened. So what next? What is the next step? I am sure you all already know that they are trying to criminalize homelessness, which is not, almost how many states are already trying to do it. If you are homeless, you are probably going to prison to become a slave, to work for them. That is how bad it is. Tax cuts that he said he was going to do. Price gouging that he said he was going to do. Where are they? When Black people tell you something, you better listen. They are the OGs. Let's get into this video.
So y'all believed his lies. He told y'all that he knew nothing about Project 2025. And y'all got activated and went around to content creators like myself who was trying to educate the people about the dangers of Project 2025. And you tried to silence us content creators. You tried to make it seem like we were fear-mongering. You just tried to make us look like we were crazy. And because of that, he won the White House. And now he's comfortable with telling you that he is implementing Project 2025. People like myself saw back in 2022, 2023, how Donald Trump was speaking in front of the Heritage Foundation, giving speeches in front of the Heritage Foundation, big upping Kevin Roberts, the leader of the Heritage Foundation. Yeah, we saw those video clips. So we knew that he was in connection to the Heritage Foundation and Project 2025. Yeah, this is pretty much how it started.
This is a great group, and they're going to lay the groundwork and detail plans for exactly what our movement will do and what your movement will do when the American people give us a colossal mandate to save America, and that's coming. Heritage Foundation president, somebody else doing an unbelievable job. He's bringing it back to levels it's never seen. Dr. Kevin Roberts.
You see, those of us who were talking about it, we saw those video clips. We saw how he was connecting himself to Project 2025 and the Heritage Foundation. He talked about how the policies that the Heritage Foundation was bringing forth was going to be his policies once he got the mandate from the American people. But y'all told us that we were fear-mongering. And then Taraji P. Henson at one of those award shows, she mentioned Project 2025, told everybody they really do need to read up on Project 2025. Project 2025 got real popular. People, more and more and more people were talking about Project 2025. And because people were talking about Project 2025 and the dangers of it, then he decided to try to separate himself from Project 2025.
Former president, he's now distancing himself from the controversial Project 2025. That's a massive proposed overhaul of the federal government, which includes firing tens of thousands of government workers and replacing them with Trump loyalists. It also calls for cutting Social Security benefits. It was drafted by longtime allies and former officials in Trump's administration. Trump posted on his social media website that he knows nothing about it and has no idea who's behind it. This comes days after the head of the think tank responsible for the program suggesting there would be a second American revolution.
Yeah, even the news media was talking about Project 2025 and the dangers of it. Yeah. And Kevin Roberts, even though Donald Trump was trying to distance himself from it, Kevin Roberts was giving interviews on video talking about how it will be painless, it will be bloodless if the left allows it to be, which means we would need to bow down, kneel down, roll over, step back, and let them change democracy, change our society as we know it. Accept it, not fight back. That's what Kevin Roberts said. And then you saw Donald Trump getting loud whenever and wherever he possibly could in separating himself from Project 2025 because he knew how dangerous that policy was. And if people believed it, they wouldn't vote for him.
Like some on the right, severe right, came up with this Project 25, and I don't even know. I mean, some of them I know who they are, but they're very, very conservative. He's involved in Project, and then they read some of the things, and they are extreme. I mean, they're seriously extreme. But I don't know anything about it. I don't want to know anything about it.
They wrote a document that many of the points are fine. Many of the points are absolutely ridiculous. I have nothing to do with the document. I've never seen the document. I've seen certain things that are said in it.
And I have nothing to do, as you know, and as she knows better than anyone, I have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's out there. I haven't read it. I don't want to read it purposely. I'm not going to read it. This was a group of people that got together. They came up with some ideas, I guess some good, some bad. But it makes no difference. I have nothing to do. Everybody knows I'm an open book. Everybody knows what I'm going to do. Cut taxes very substantially and create a great economy like I did before.
Well, here we are 9 months into Donald Trump's presidency, and he hasn't cut taxes yet. But those taxes that he's cutting is not for the poor and middle class. It's for the rich. It's for the top 1%. It's for corporations. The economy is worse than it was last year. Gas is still high. People are still struggling to pay rent and mortgage. People are struggling to put food on the table. Farmers aren't making any sales. I saw a post earlier today. Hey, farmers, soybean farmers, you voted to put Donald Trump into the White House. But last year, under President Joe Biden, you sold $18 billion worth of soybeans. Under Donald Trump, you sold zero. The farmers are struggling. Heading towards losing their farms. Immigration. Yeah, immigration is very problematic in this country. But all of y'all voted for him. All of y'all believed that he had nothing to do with Project 2025. Y'all was all down in my comments telling me that I'm spreading lies and misinformation. Y'all was in the comment section telling me that I was fear-mongering about Project 2025. Y'all was down in the comments telling me we survived under Donald Trump in 2016. We'll survive again. We'll be just fine. That's what y'all were telling me. And now that y'all believed all of his lies and his nonsense and all of the propaganda, y'all believed it. Y'all either didn't vote or you voted for Donald Trump or you voted for third party. Y'all did that. Donald Trump is in office and now he's comfortable in telling you the true plan. He put this out there over on Truth Social. I have a meeting today with Russ Voigt. Russ Voigt is a part, I believe he spearheaded Project 2025. He is from the Heritage Foundation. He of Project 2025 fame, to determine which of the many Democrat agencies, most of which are a political scam, he recommends to be cut, and whether or not those cuts will be temporary or permanent. I can't believe the radical left Democrats gave me this unprecedented opportunity. They are not stupid people. So maybe this is their way of wanting to quietly and quickly make America great again. DJT. It's not the Democrats. It's not the Democrats. It's a part of Project 2025. His big, beautiful bill, that is Project 2025. Okay, cutting Medicare and Medicaid, that is a part of Project 2025. Giving more money to the military, increasing the military budget, that is a part of Project 2025. Cutting welfare, food stamps, HUD, education, all of that is a part of Project 2025. This was the plan all along. And the big, beautiful bill was going to be their financial budget to ensuring that it gets done. So the truth be told, the Democrats were damned if they do or damned if they don't. I'm just glad they didn't. I want you to remember what he said. Democrats gave him this. Democrats didn't give him anything. Democrats will be damned if they do, damned if they don't. The time to stop him was on November 5th. Republicans have the House, the Senate, the executive branch, which is the presidency, and the Supreme Court. How this country falls from this point forward, it's on them. And to each and every one of you that voted for Donald Trump, voted third party, didn't vote at all, you contributed to all of this. And the people who die because of what they get ready to do, their blood is on your hands. Sleep well.
Shit is about to get very real. The government shut down, and today the president released this truth, I guess you call it, where he's openly saying, hey, I called the guy that wrote Project 2025. We're about to sit down, have a meeting. He's going to tell me the things he wants me to get rid of next. And what I think is coming next, amongst many things, but two things I think they're really going to try to take advantage of during this shutdown, is pretty much completely shutting down housing and urban development. I went to their website. They have this crazy propaganda on the front page, which is insane. Again, if for anybody who doesn't know, Republicans control House, Senate, and the presidency. So this kind of messaging is just insane. I think once they shut down HUD, they're going to pretty much make being homeless completely illegal. So if you're homeless, you go to prison. You go to prison, you're a slave. A slave for who? Private prisons, which are traded on the U.S. Stock Exchange. Anyway, the other department I think they're going to go after, whatever's left of any kind of environmental protection agencies. They want all the guardrails done. That means fossil fuel regulations, carbon dioxide regulations. They want it all done. Wind. He wants wind gone, solar gone. And as we know, he doesn't want these things gone. Somebody that's paying him wants these things gone. People like the Heritage Foundation, the people that wrote Project 2025, which is literally a list of the things that they're trying to get done while they're manipulating this man in office. So this government shutdown, which he's blatantly saying, hey, I'm evil. And it's crazy that the Democrats are going to let me be evil. That's what he's saying in this truth or tweet or whatever this is. That's what he's saying. I'm going to do some evil stuff. Can you believe they're going to let me do it? It's almost like they want me to do evil stuff. So, yeah, that's really interesting and wild that he's not even trying to hide the fact that he's doing evil shit. And they tell you a lie to your face and they expect you to believe it. And some of you believe it, and that's sad. But yeah, man, so I think that he's going to come for the EPA, whatever's left of it, and he's going to make being homeless illegal. And I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not being like an alarmist. I really think that's what's going to happen. He's going to criminalize homeless people and then send the National Guard into these cities where there's a high density of homelessness. So places like San Francisco, which he named, places like Los Angeles, which he named. He's going to go and rally these people up and then make them slaves. So, yeah, I'm sure there's like a more eloquent way to put that, but that's the long and short of what I think is going to happen. But I don't think he's going to do what Brian Kilmeade suggested, which is, kill meat them. So anyway, yeah, happy Thursday. Thursday. Let's drink up, man. 2025.
Does anybody remember that one thing called Project 2025? For those of you who don't remember, allow me to jog your memory banks. Project 2025 was a fear campaign that Democrats and biased media were running with for half of 2024. They all tried to convince us that Project 2025, they're not talking about it now because they're embarrassed of it, was something that Donald Trump was going to run with, and if he became president, he was going to implement it and he was going to destroy America. In fact, I think Project 2025 was something that the liberal left just made up, just to see if they can get something that would stick to Donald Trump.
That video was made around 7 months ago, and oh boy, it did not age well. Now, I want you to leave a comment below or raise your hand if you remember being called a fearmongerer during the election cycle for talking about 2025. I want you to continue raising your hand if you specifically remember Donald Trump tweeting out July 24th, 2024, "I have nothing to do with and know nothing about Project 2025. The fact that I do is merely a disinformation campaign put out by the radical left Democrat thugs. Do not believe them." Signed, DJT. The gaslighting from you guys is absolutely insane, and I'm not even going to read this whole thing right now because I know you guys have already seen it. It is hella viral, but as most of us already know, Donald Trump tweeted out today, October 2nd, that he has a meeting with Russ Vought, he of Project 2025 fame, to determine which of the Democrat blah, 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 blah. He's admitting he knows not only who the author of 2025 is, but he is working with him. He's understood Project 2025 this whole entire time, yet he only lied to you because he specifically knew moderates, independents, fence-sitters would not have voted for him if he championed Project 2025, because the majority of the country knew that what was inside the document of Project 2025 was so abhorrent, it was unpopular. But anyways, I just want to leave you with this final thought. If your president is willing to lie to you literally about absolutely anything or things of this magnitude, what else is he willing to lie about? I.e. the fucking Epstein files. Anyways, my name is Mercedes Chandler. Give me a follow or you won't see my face again. Thank you. Goodbye.
As you know, and as she knows better than anyone, I have nothing to do with Project 2025.
Well, breaking fuck the news. I'm so excited that I gardened before I made this post. Donald Trump makes a post to True Social about Project 2025 for the first time. I have a meeting with Russ Vought, he of Project 2025 fame, to determine which of the many Democrat agencies, most of which are political scam, he recommends to be cut, and whether or not those cuts will be temporary or permanent. I can't believe the radical left Democrats gave me this unprecedented opportunity. They are not stupid people, so maybe this is their way of wanting to. Quietly and quickly, make America great again. There's two things that are so interesting about this. For one, he mentions the curator of Project 2025 and says it all in the same post. And not only that, I posted a video on here not too long ago where Donald Trump said smart people don't like me. What I said in the video is he called all Republicans fucking stupid because you like him. Then in this post, he says the Democrats aren't stupid people. So he knows the radical left aren't idiots, but he calls you, his worshipers and swallowers, stupid every chance he gets. Congratulations. Welcome to the Fourth Reich.
It's day 2 of the government shutdown, and it did not have to be this way. Do you remember when Kamala Harris warned everyone about Trump and Project 2025, and the media ran with Trump's excuse that he had nothing to do with it? If you need a reminder, watch.
Look again at Project 2025 to repeal the $35 a month cap on insulin that we have put in place.
You know that Donald Trump has disavowed Project 2025. He says that is not his campaign plan.
As you know, I am a former prosecutor. His DNA is all over it.
And let's jump to the present day, because Trump himself posted that he's meeting with Russ Vought, quote, he of Project 2025 fame. Vought ran Trump's Office of Management and Budget in his first term and now is back in the same role again. He knows exactly how to move these policies through the system, and that's what's happening now. And here's the thing. We already knew this was coming because Russ Vought literally said it himself when he was secretly recorded before the election. Watch.
This video was captured just months ahead of Trump's 2024 election win.
I want to be the person that crushes the deep state. I think there's a lot of different ways to do that. It is defunding it, it's impoundment, the ability to not spend money, It's getting rid of their independence.
He's a key architect of Project 2025, a manifesto for Trump's second term. While Trump has repeatedly distanced himself from Project 2025, he's placed Vote in a position of power.
He's very supportive of what we do.
Even with all of that information, there are still Trump voters who are going to say something like, but Trump had his own separate agenda, separate from Project 2025. Yeah, it was called Agenda 47, but that was just a broad outline because Project 2025 filled in the details. And if you check the Project 2025 tracker, just 8 months into Trump's second term, nearly half of the plan is already in motion. And Americans are the ones that are paying the price with a higher cost of living.
So Donald Trump pretty much just embraced Project 2025 in a post, but nobody should be surprised by this. But the not so smart people who blindly support this man are probably surprised. Like I said, Donald Trump can do and say whatever he wants. He is these people messiah. He can do no wrong in their eyes. They're never going to criticize him. They're never going to call him out. But, you know, they're starving. Their farms are, you know, not holding up. They're losing money. And they just won't call out Donald Trump. This man can do and say whatever he wants to say. Like, America, in my opinion, is probably going to be a dictatorship one day. It seems to be heading in that direction. I don't know what to tell you. This is America. I said it once, I'll say it again. This is America, not America, America, or Trumpica.
The mainstream media, you know, they've been bashing Kamala Harris as she's out on her book tour, and certainly there were things wrong with the campaign. Certainly Democrats have to figure out their messaging. But one thing that Democrats can never overcome is the reality that mainstream media ran with and continues to run with Donald Trump's blatant lies while gaslighting the American public and lecturing people like Kamala Harris, like Hillary Clinton, when they warn about true things. For example, Kamala Harris told Norah O'Donnell, who, you know, met her with all this skepticism, that she was a former prosecutor and that Project 2025 had Donald Trump's DNA all over it. At the time, by the way, we already knew that 140 people that were in Trump's orbit or had worked for Trump were part of Project 2025. So Politico called her out. USA Today had a piece saying that the vice president was being dishonest. None of that was accurate, and we now
This
know
is
that.
all I got from this video. Excuse me. Shout out to Tabitha. I mean, she compiles a lot and made it even easier. Because I've been following Sister Tabitha for a longer time. And one thing I know for sure about her is that she's in kind of, she understands politics. And she was also at the forefront. I remember vividly when Project 2025 broke, she kept, or she continued doing series on it until the last day of election. And then people still did what they thought was right for them, which is affecting everybody. I've been telling this story here severally. I have told this story here severally, how a lot of people fought me in the comment section, especially the conservative, black conservatives, telling me that Donald Trump has distanced himself from Project 2025. And I remember going back and forth with somebody in the comment section, and I told the person, to your tent, O Israel. I won't forget that day. One thing I know for sure is that I don't know, there is nothing this man has he rarely says the truth. If you have been following this man's political journey, you definitely will understand that even if he tells you good morning, you have to look at it. You have to look at the time again to be sure it is morning. Because on a very serious note, nothing he has ever said is truth. And he said he's an open book. This man denied all his campaign. I remember during his campaign last year, almost every places he went to, he kept denying that he didn't know anything that got to do like that, anything about Project 2025, that the people on the left are trying so hard to dent him and all that. But black people knew, because the only people, I am always here sorting out news. The people that stood their ground about Project 2025 were Black people. They stood their ground and they said, we know what we are saying. This man lied till the last day. You all remember that he said he was going to cut the tax. Now I see how much he has cut the tax. I remember him telling that groceries, I see how much he has reduced the prices, right? Nothing good comes out of his mouth. So now that you and I can see that he was like, how are some people very gullible? Let me even start with that. This man's name appeared 300 and something times in Project 2025, and he was still denying that he got nothing to deal with Project 2025. Are you that dumb? Are you that dumb? No, I am not. Because I knew that I also stood my ground, because I knew he was lying, because I saw Project 2025. When Project 2025 came out in 2022, right? 2022. It did not come out fully. We saw it in parts. And then in 2023 was when it came out. But people were still doubting. In 2024, it was all over. All over. So this man at least there is no need for him to lie anymore, because you and I can see the extent at which the lies has actually reached. And now for the brother that talked about homelessness, he has already criminalized homelessness. I think I am not sure if there is a particular policy already guiding homelessness at this point, if he has signed any policy. But I know in DC now, you remember there was a national bodyguard that chased people all away, and some other places, some other states too, they are trying to make homelessness illegal. So if tomorrow, it did not start today, I've been bringing videos about that for some time. So tomorrow, after the meeting that he went yesterday night or afternoon, and we come out, today is what, Friday. If he comes out today to tell us that, homelessness is now a crime, I will not be surprised, because it's been, they've been saying it, that they are going to criminalize homelessness. So if you are homeless, they probably will say you become a slave or something. That's why there are so many prisons all over, instead of schools and some other important things. Why? Because they make money out of it. It's a money-making machine for them. You want to doubt that too? I will draw the curtain here. Bye for now.